Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Life Kindled, where we talk about self-empowerment, personal development, and other strategies that you can implement into your life to get the life of your dreams. What you can do to transform your life into a life you want to live. In today's episode, I thought it would be best if we get right down to basics and talk about what self-empowerment is, what it feels like when you're not empowered, and also what self-empowerment is not. So, stick around and let's talk some more about what you can do to empower your life. Getting right to it. What is self-empowerment? What is it? Oftentimes we hear a term and we think we understand what it means, when in reality we don't have all the answers, we don't have a full understanding of the topic. And I think self-empowerment is one of those topics. It could mean many different things to different people, but to me, self-empowerment is basically taking control of your life and what you need to do in order to take back that control in a healthy and uplifting way. So self-empowerment is making positive decisions based on what you want. It is taking action to reach your goals and bring them into reality. Self-empowerment is often linked to attributes like self-esteem and self-confidence, which is why when you struggle with low self-esteem, it can often feel like you're unempowered. And this is something that I know from personal experience. I have struggled for many years with low self-esteem, and it's still something that I am working on actively. But I know from my own experience that when you are lacking in confidence or you don't feel very good about yourself, it is extremely difficult to then also feel empowered. So those attributes do go hand in hand with how empowered you feel. However, the good news is that simply by starting to empower yourself more, you will also start to improve your self-esteem and confidence. So bonuses all the way around. True self-empowerment is giving yourself permission to succeed. So what does that mean? The fact is, no one else can give you permission to succeed. You need to want to succeed. You need to believe in yourself and your abilities so that you can succeed. And the only real person who can give you that permission is yourself. And while there might be other supporting actors behind the scenes that help you along the way, the only person who can give you the permission to succeed is yourself. So stick around if you want to learn more about, and that is something that can be difficult for some of us. But there are ways to make it easier, to make that transition to knowing who you are and what you want and giving yourself the permission you need to take back your power. What does it feel like when you're not empowered? I'm sure many of you will resonate with a lot of these feelings. Many of you might have even found yourself in similar situations. You might actually be in one of those situations right now. But the lack of self-empowerment makes you feel lost. It makes you feel like you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do next. It can make you feel like you don't have any control in your life. It can make you feel like no matter how hard you're trying, no matter what you're doing, no matter what changes you are implementing, things just aren't changing. They're just staying the same. These can all be feelings of dealing with a lack of self-empowerment. Additionally, one that you might be experiencing that doesn't immediately look or feel like a lack of power is getting comfortable in the situation that you're in, sort of giving up on getting anything better. I know that I myself have been stuck in this sense of comfort, sense of security, which wasn't really either of those things, but I convinced myself that I was happy, that things were good, and I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to try anything. I didn't have to motivate myself to change my current situation. And when you get into that place, it can be difficult to see that things can be so much better. So another way that a lack of self-empowerment can affect your daily life is in your personal connections. So when you're not feeling empowered, you can start feeling disconnected from situations and the people around you. You can start ignoring your important relationships in your life. And the bad thing about that is these things tend to creep up. And only when the situation is really serious or even when it's too late do you realize that goodness, I should have done more. And by that point, the damage could already be done, and it might be much more difficult to remedy after the fact. So self-empowerment is great, not just for your personal or career goals, but also for your relationships with the people close to you and the people who are important to you. Another important thing I feel that should be mentioned is that self-empowerment is not entitlement. Entitlement is thinking that you are owed something. The universe owes you, your job owes you, your parents owe you, other people owe you. That is entitlement. Self-empowerment is not that. Self-empowerment is looking into yourself and discovering what it is that will make you happy, what it is that you want, and then working actively towards achieving those goals. It's not just sitting there saying, I want this, give it to me now, here I am, hand it to me. It is knowing what you want and working towards it actively. So no entitlement when you start empowering yourself. Then what self-empowerment isn't? Self-empowerment isn't just creating healthy habits or setting goals and boundaries. It's much more than just that. And while those aspects are an important part of self-empowerment, you can't just think that, oh, you know what, I'm going to change these habits and implement healthier ones in their place, and then all of a sudden your life's going to change. That is unfortunately not exactly how it works. But wouldn't it have been great if it did? So self-empowerment is taking many different steps and implementing them in your life to help you get to a certain goal. Of course, setting goals is an important part of that, but so too is introspection and looking towards yourself and seeing what is it that you truly want. So too is learning how to deal with certain situations in a healthier manner so that they do not become this huge roadblock along your journey. Then, self-empowerment also isn't a quick fix overnight solution. Self-empowerment is a journey. It is something that you're probably going to be doing for the rest of your life. As soon as you reach one of your goals, as soon as one of your dreams becomes a reality, then you'll realize, ooh, you know what? Now I want this. Now let's work towards this. So you will have to empower yourself again to reach the next goal. So self-empowerment is all about the journey, not just the destination. The nice thing about that is that it also means that if you fail along the way, if you get stuck, if something doesn't work out, that's okay. That just shows you, I need to change my approach. I need to look at this again and see where I'm going wrong and what could work better. So in the case of self-empowerment, failing at something or not succeeding at every single goal all the time isn't a bad thing. It isn't a negative thing. It's just reality. And in the process, you're learning more about yourself. You're learning about what works for you. You're learning about your preferences. You're learning about what you really want and what you thought you wanted, but in reality isn't so important to you anymore. So when it comes to self-empowerment, we can only truly become self-empowered when we do some introspection, when we get to know ourselves better, and then begin to actively work on areas in our lives that are lacking. Because let's face it, none of us are perfect. We all have our issues, our triggers, our baggage, the areas in our life that we don't succeed in or excel in. And the nice part of that is these are all things that can be worked on. They can be improved. They can be made better so that you can get to a place where you are empowered enough to go after your dreams. And that's what we'll be discussing in Life Kindled. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you've watched this far, I would love it if you would subscribe, leave me a comment down below and tell me what your self-empowerment journey so far has been, or even whether you're only thinking about starting it right now. We can all help each other out. If you'd like to see more videos, I'll link my latest video up here so that you can have a look at that as well. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.